Howdy YouTube. So, what we have here is 3 vintage arcade cabinets. We got Frenzy, we got Super Mario Brothers versus, then we have Outrun from Sega. Each one is made by a different company. This is 1/6 scale. The most well-known company by far is New Wave Toys. This is, which one's which? This is, I want to say, is it Ametheria? Or is it Arcadia? I'm going to say this is Ametheria. This is Ametheria. This is Arcadia. They're both on Etsy, these two here. And they're custom made because you're not going to find either one of these on the open market right now. There's no driving game, standing or sitting, for 1/6 scale arcade. So that's why this was gotten. This one is a very niche game that Nintendo doesn't make this stuff. So getting this in this scale, this is big nostalgia hit for me here. And I grew up with this. Pre-teens, little mom and pop store had this stuffed in the back of their store, and we called it the Super Hard Super Mario Brothers. And it was right before I had my own Nintendo when I first saw it. So we go there to challenge ourselves occasionally while getting candy and soda pops on our way to school or back from school. It's really never seen it since then. Never seen it in any arcades or anything, but I wanted it. They probably converted it, knowing the people that worked there and who owned it. They probably converted a old arcade machine they found into Super Mario Brothers somehow. There, I wanted to make some money. And I think that's the only way you could get the Super Mario Brothers versus was a conversion. I may be wrong on that, but it was something like that. You had to convert. A lot of the games came as conversions, but you had to have a Nintendo cab. And it did have a Nintendo cabinet, I believe. Things are getting a little hazy at this age. Damn moth. Oh, missed it. Anyhow. The blinking on the Frenzy is actually what it's supposed to do. This is supposed to be a used machine. See specks and like drink spills on there. You got the little kick plate. You got the these are die-cast kick plate, die-cast blocker bar. So nobody breaks in. This is die-cast. This is die-cast up here. Actual metal joystick. Joystick's a little bit thick, as you can see there, but the buttons are just spot on. They even have that concave in the middle. That's every time I get a New Waves toy game, they up their game. Those buttons are like spot on, and they look grungy because you got the depth around them. Those buttons got pretty damn grungy at arcade, especially mom and pop one. So I love how these light up with the 25. That's really nice. This should be another name, but since Atari bought out the Frenzy title, they have Atari here instead. I forget the actual name. But this is my least nostalgic. I don't think I ever played this in an arcade, but it's part of my diorama that I have over here. Down there's all my machines and stuff, so I'm mainly going for the diorama, but up front, the ones that mean a lot to me, like the Nintendo, and even Outrun, I played a lot of. Both when I was a kid and also they had it in the arcade I worked in, I believe, or an updated version of this. I don't think it was that exact one, but I played this as a kid. So he's somewhat nostalgic too. I just needed a driving game for my diorama was the biggest thing. Those buttons lighting up on the custom one, that's pretty cool. See, that's the thing here. You got a company that's been doing this a while. They put a lot of money, R&D. I mean, the screen is kind of concave. See, this is just flat square. This is just, it would be a flat square if it wasn't for the edges here. But this one, you can see there's a bend to the screen, you know, like an old CRT. This is not like that. This is not like that. They put a lot of R&D into making this look right in 1/6 scale. And that's the side art, you know. It's a higher quality. It has a nice texture to it. Feels incredibly solid. It's by far the heaviest of the three machines. This is the lightest by far because they're using some sort of, I don't know if it's balsa wood or what, but this is some pretty light stuff. The only thing that these two kind of beat this one on is the wall thickness on the outside. See how thick this is? That's pretty damn thick. Look at this. That feels more like 1/6 scale to me. I could be wrong. It could be this specific cabinet. Maybe it just had thicker walls. But that's the only thing that really catches me is like, damn, it's like a 2-inch thick, maybe an 1.5-inch thick arcade cabinet wall. And it's like, I don't remember them that thick. But other than that, their you know, details are just crazy. There's like a PCB board up in here with, I don't think it has lights or anything, but it's the exact same look as the one that's in the actual game from the early 80s or even late 70s. Frenzy came out. It's a pretty old one. But again, this is not nostalgia based. This is making the arcade look realistic with all sorts of crazy games. This one had a few hiccups. I had hiccups with this one too. Like, this is loose. That's a 5-minute fix. The side art is pretty dark. Also a little bit blurry here around the edges if you really look in. Just has a little blur to it. But all in all, this is really nice. It's just too dark and a little blurry. Maybe they're doing that because well, it doesn't say the Nintendo seal of approval. You can't sue me for making this. You know, I don't know. But they got plenty of other Super Mario Brothers stuff up in there. You can even see the little details on there. So, I think that was just kind of a mishit on the side art. Other than that, though, this one's pretty damn good. They even got the excuse me. Oh my goodness. The right coin slots and stuff. It would just roll down here if there was an issue. If they just had those little horseshoe bars, that's what I call them, the U bars at the base to catch the coin, which they never did, by the way, then it'd be pretty spot on. But they even have the keyhole. You see down here? So it's like they even got the screw areas. That's really nice. They got the right proper stickers. Everything is like pretty scaled on this. The only thing that's a little wacky is it's a little bit shorter. Part of that is because it doesn't have any feet on the bottom of the actual machine. I think it should probably be a little bit just right about there, because Nintendo cabs are on the shorter side. They're more for, you know, their customer base is children. Always has been, always will be. Nintendo. I mean, the children turn into adults, and then we get, you know, high-end Zeldas and stuff. But back then, it was all kids all the time. So, I may have to put little footies up on that, rubber foots. Get you about 1/4 inch up. I think that'd be pretty spot on. So just that. The side art a little bit blurry. Little U things there. Everything else, you know, and I looked once I got it, and I was looking as I was buying it. And the color of all the buttons, everything's good. Everything's good. Buttons maybe slightly big, but not bad at all. I mean, these back here actually look smaller than these. Maybe it's just me. Anyhow, New Wave toys, as far as the look and feel, you can't really beat them, you know? It's going to take a lot of freaking effort. This thing's like a tank. I could roll these down the stairs here and it's probably going to be just fine. At least the exterior will be just fine. I've never had a light go out on them. I've never had any hiccups with the actual games themselves, except for the batteries dying out, because I've been collecting these for like 7 years now. So I have all of them, but I think 2 or 3. And so when I go from these over to here, this is from 2 feet away. This thing is stunning. It's like, wow, they caught everything about the Outrun Sega cabinet, and it looks just like it. However, you come in a little bit closer and you start noticing little details like the 3D print. This is all 3D printed for the most part. All this, you can see the 3D print lines up on here. A little rough. 3D print lines all around here. This is 3D printed. There's actually a crack on this side, but it's circular. It's like a quarter circle right up here, so it's in there pretty tight. I can even go like this. You're not going to see it, but I had to pull it up when I first got it. It was already cracked off, so it's jammed in there pretty good. Doesn't really affect the gameplay or anything. It's just, I know it's there and it bugs me a little bit. Yeah, this is all 3D printed except for down here. I think just this outside part. That's an aluminum. This is an aluminum sticker over plastic, 3D printed. This, where the coin slots are, really nice little stickers on this guy. It looks like real life, you know. However, then you go to the middle and you got a screw. And the 3D print's a little bit choppy. And this is an insert. So there's, you know, I'm not knocking the guy or anything. You know, I told him about some of the 3D print issues that I had. I wrote him, and he's like, well, in the next one, I'll try and not have that happen. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't too worried about it, but when the light hits this in certain ways, I don't know if you can really see it right here. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. See that right there? The lines that pop out. You don't see it from every angle too much. Like right there, it kind of disappears. 2 feet away, nothing bugs you. But you get in there, that waviness shows up on the 3D print. You also have a lot of, I mean, screws don't matter on the back or anything. They did put in 1 or 2 stickers here to make it look like an actual back of a machine. But everything else, you just got screws out. All 3D printed. You can see the 3D print lines. So up here you got 3D print lines, which in a diorama you may see those. This is 3D printed, so this kind of hangs out. It's a very plasticky, thin plastic 3D print. But, you know, you look at it from here, 2 feet away. Even with my glasses on, it looks just like, I mean, scale-wise, color-wise, every bit wise, it looks just like the Sega Outrun stand-up version. Really, really nice. It's just when you get in closer, like a foot, everything starts popping out at you. Like, there's some, yeah, misprints on there. I think I mentioned that already. This is also, ooh, wait, I can't really tell. No, I think this back part's a 3D print here. I think that's a 3D print, but it's done in that silver stuff. But other than that, and you know, there's a few other hiccups too. I mean, if you're going to be spending money on this, you should know this, or you're going to find out. You're going to see it yourself. Stickers getting a little flumpy at places. Just little nuanced details, like this pin that's down here. You know, it has these 2 3D printed things on the side holding it in. If you lose one of those, that pin's gonna pop out, and these are gone. So, also over here, and I am being a little bit nitpicky. These aren't cheap, so but I'm not being hugely nitpicky. But you got screw here, screw here. Screw here. Certain angles, you can see the seam in between here. It's not too bad though. And also down here you got black screw there, black screw there, black screw there, black screw there. It blends in 2 feet away, you don't really see it. But if you're looking like devils in the details stuff, you're gonna notice those. And you can clearly see where they are on the sides too at certain angles, because this is a very thin sticker. So, in a nutshell, they all look really good from even 1.5 feet away. Across the room, you're going to be like, holy crap, somebody shrunk those down. Ow. Hit my elbow. Even New Wave Toys does things like, where you see the light up top and these buttons here. On a diorama, you see those. You can cover them up, get some gaffer's tape, kind of put a little shield up on there if you wanted. You probably won't notice them, but, it's there. So none of them are absolutely perfect, but New Wave Toys, they definitely, especially for the money, you're going to get a more refined product. This one, I would say, is even with this popping out right here, which is an easy 5-minute fix, I'd say this would be my second one, even though also a little bit short. Just because you could tell more time and energy was put into the details on this one. I think this happened because of shipping. Something bopped it, and the stickers maybe just didn't notice because he didn't stare at them. I don't know how to put that. I haven't talked to the guy about it either yet. I'll mention it to him and say, hey, I think I can get an extra sticker for those. It's a little bit more clear. He may send me out some. But this guy, I'm kind of affected by his response when I told him about the 3D print being a little screwy on the sides. He's like, yeah, I'll work on that for the next guy. Nothing on like a, $40 off or anything. Because there's some little nuanced things on there where you're like, oh, yeah, all right, But he knows he has a product where people aren't going to find it other places. And these stickers are just coming up too. You're not going to find it other places, at least not yet. It's kind of tough. You're going to get a good product with New Wave Toys. It's going to be built well. It's going to have die cast. They're going to try their best to get the buttons right. And some of them, especially on the older machines where it should have 2 players, it's only 1 player. So it's like they do have to take, not really corner cutting, but to make it playable, because of course both of these are also playable. They're taking, a 1-player kind of route, because for it to be playable, you have to be able to use the buttons with 2 hands. So I hope that came out where it makes sense, but it's not always photo accurate on New Wave Toys, but you're getting a quality product. The battery's going to last a while. When they do start going out, they're not hard to replace. Neither of these have any batteries in them. They have to be plugged in USB-C, and they're all USB-Cs. Trying to think what else. I don't regret either purchase. I think this was the most expensive, and I understand why. It's a totally new. This is probably done differently than New Wave Toys, but you can even buy kits for this. Not exactly this game, but what was it, Glenn? I think he sells some make-it-yourself kits, and buttons and a joystick. This is a steering wheel. You got your shifter. You got your, accelerator and brake. So that's a lot more to figure out. It's very, this guy made it himself. It wasn't. Ow! Keep hitting my elbows here. So he put time and energy into designing it. So the price makes sense to me. So let's see, anything else I want to hit on? I really love this header up here. Oh, the controls on this, like, all right, so we're centered here. I don't expect it to be jumping back and forth, you know, like the actual one. Because that had like force feedback, or it would pull the other way. And this one, it's like, goes all the way over that way. And then you get to the center again, go over to the right. Boom, that's as far as it goes here. I know this is a 3D print. I don't want to force anything. I don't know it's really holding it on there. I can't really see if it's a metal stick or not. Don't want to screw it up, but it's kind of like a little janky there. This is nice. Feels good. These feel good too. I like the click. It's like, oh, that's so good. Little leaf switches there. You can see all the stuff that's underneath there. Those are used in pinball games. All right. The backs. There's only one thing that kind of bugs me on these as far as the backs go. This one's just flat. In my diorama, I can put them back to back. Well, if I get the cords that are cut a lot closer, I can put them like pretty much about 1/8 of an inch apart. But this one kind of messes me up a little bit with this volume thing popping out there pretty good. And this is, well, I can replace that. But the volume thing, I tried pulling it off. Most of these you can just pull off and just be a stick there. But this one, not so much so far. And again, I don't want to break it, because the guy he didn't seem like he'd be taking any returns or anything, you know. That kind of makes me a little worried, but it does seem like a quality product. It's just, you know, if you get real close in, you're going to see some 3D print details that may not be to your liking. The custom ones, there was a lot of effort put in on both of them. I think there's more effort on this one. This one hits home. Maybe it's the nostalgia to me a little bit more. But this one, you can tell there's also a lot of effort. And I give them props on making it. It's just little things that, you know, New Wave Toys has done over the years to upgrade, bring their stuff up. And it's probably not right for me to try and put that on this guy for his stuff. But I kind of like the screws here. The black screws being where you can see them. Side screws where you can see them on the bottom. Just those things, you know, kind of like, ooh, a little rough around the edges. So this one also have some little rough around the edges things, like bringing it up a little bit with some pads, side details, the header here, and I could fix this one to be perfect. This one is going to take some doing if I want to go that far. So New Wave Toys is already there. So yeah, that's what you're looking at with the custom stuff. I'm sure they'll get better each cabinet they make, because these are handmade. You know, somebody's in their apartment or house or, you know, luxury mansion, maybe even a hotel room. Who knows? But they're popping these together, and I'm sure every time they get a little bit better. So be interesting to see what happens with that. Am I willing to spend that kind of money each time? It's going to have to be a very nostalgic thing for me to do that. One that I know that nobody else is going to make. So I just thought I'd throw this video out here, share it with you guys so you can kind of see what's going on with these. If you want to look into it, if you have a super special cab that you know they're not going to get the rights to make New Wave Toys, that may be something you want to look at. Because New Wave Toys is the only real game in town, unless you're a customizer or somebody who's really handy with those little micro PCs they have inside these things. And if you can do it yourself, you're going to save a lot of money. I saw they were on there. It was tax-free return season, so bada boom. Had to do it. Anyhow, that's about all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the little video. Have a great one.